Night had fallen like a heavy curtain over the small town. The asphalt still breathed the heat of the day, and neon lights flickered across puddles left by the rain. In front of a roadside store, a young woman sat on the curb, arms wrapped around her knees, crying quietly as darkness swallowed her whole. No one stopped, no one asked, until a distant roar broke the silence. One engine, then another, then hundreds. Within minutes, the ground began to tremble. The glass windows rattled, and when she looked up, she saw something no one would ever forget. More than 200 Hell's Angels surrounding the parking lot, one by one, forming a wall of steel, leather, and fire. Stay till the end, because this story proves brotherhood is louder than fear.
Her name was Maya, just 22. She had arrived in that town with nothing left but a backpack, a torn photograph, and the hope of starting again. But life doesn't wait. The store owner had thrown her out after she tried to pay with a wrinkled bill and a handful of coins. "Get out of here," he'd said. "We don't want beggars around." Maya walked out without a word, trembling with shame and anger under the cruel glow of fluorescent lights. No one helped, no one spoke. Only the wind moved her hair as she sat on the curb, lost and alone, until a stranger pulled up beside her, stepped off his Harley, and offered her his jacket. The patch on it, worn from years on the road, read one single word: brotherhood. His name was Reed, and he didn't ask much. He didn't need to. One look at her, trembling in the dark, told him everything he needed to know. He walked into the store, calm but with eyes that cut through the air. He asked what had happened. The owner laughed, said it wasn't his problem. Reed walked back out, lit a cigarette, took out his phone, and made a single call. "Bring the family," he said. Half an hour later, the roar began to rise from every direction. The streets filled with echoes of thunder, headlights slicing through the fog, engines growling like ancient storms. People came out of their houses, watching from behind curtains, trying to understand what was happening. But Maya already knew. This wasn't a rescue. It was a response.
The Hell's Angels didn't come to spread fear. They came to restore respect. They parked their bikes in a wide circle, surrounding the store like silent guardians. No one spoke. Only the wind moved the flags, and the ticking of cooling engines filled the night. The owner stepped out, pale, his face drained of all color. Reed stood before him, his patch glinting under the neon lights. "We didn't come to fight. We came to remind you what dignity looks like." If you believe loyalty still matters, subscribe to Hell's Road, because stories like this are far from over. The riders gathered around Maya. One gave her water, another handed her a blanket. They lifted her from the ground with quiet respect. In their eyes burned something stronger than fury: humanity. The riders carried their colors like armor, symbols of loyalty stitched into leather. And you can carry that same spirit. Our official Hell's Road gear is linked below for those who live by the code. Engines began to rumble again, slowly, deeply, like a living heart awaking in the dark. Reed turned back to the store owner. He didn't shout. He simply placed something on the counter. A clean bill and Maya's torn photo. "This pays what you owe her," he said. Then, with a calm gaze, he added, "People aren't measured by what they have, but by how they treat those who have nothing." The man said nothing. When he looked up again, the store was surrounded by roaring motorcycles, their headlights burning like white flames. And in the middle of them, Maya smiled for the first time in months. When dawn rose, the parking lot was empty. Only the echo of engines drifted into the trees. Maya stood there, wearing Reed's jacket, staring at the horizon with quiet gratitude. That night didn't just change her fate, it changed the soul of a town. Some roads lead to redemption, others to memory. If you want to keep the fire alive, the official Hell's Road store is linked below, where brotherhood lives beyond the story. Weeks later, someone drove by that same store. The owner was there, serving coffee to travelers, no longer asking questions. And on the wall hung a framed photograph, a smiling girl surrounded by bikers, with one word written below: brotherhood. The wind still carries that sound along the road. The roar that began with a tear and ended with 200 souls reminding the world what it means not to look away. This was one of many forgotten legends of the road. Subscribe to Hell's Road and ride with us into the next story.